What's up, Vapors? Thanks for checking out Daily Vape TV. My name is Nick, and it's Fresh Build Friday. That's right, it's that time of the week again where we get you ready for the weekend with a brand new coil build. So this one comes to us from our friends over at Wotofo. This is the Vaporous RDA that we're going to be building on today. And it's something new, it's something different. It's got a crazy looking build deck, which you guys will see in just a second here. But it's been sitting on my shelf for like a week and a half, 2 weeks now, and I've been dying to build it. So real quick, before we go down to the close-up view, I just wanted to clarify a couple of things real quick. So first and foremost, these Fresh Build Friday videos are not reviews. This is basically my first impressions of a device. This will be the first time I've, built this device, or it could be the 101st time I've built it. It doesn't really matter. It's just basically my way to kind of show you guys different techniques and different styles of building and different coils and stuff like that. And in no way are these actual reviews on said products. With that being said, I will be doing a full review of the Vaporous RDA as well as the other ones that we've been taking a look at, like the GoVad and the Pulse 22 and all that good stuff in the very near future. So stay tuned for those videos, and I do recommend you guys check those out if you want to know my thoughts on these devices after I've spent hours and hours and hours testing them out. So with that being said, let's go ahead and grab our mod, our wick, our addy, our wire, our tools, all that good stuff. Let's go down to the close-up view and build it up. Alright guys, so today we're going to be building on the Vaporous RDA by Wotofo, and it kind of came down to the wire on this particular video because I really have kind of run out of ideas. My creative juices are not flowing lately, so I asked myself, do I want to try something new out on my old spinner rig, or do I want to wait until my new one comes in? Well, I decided I'm going to wait until next week when I get my new setup in before I start trying new stuff for you guys here, and I'm just going to stick to something that I know for now, which is this right here. This is the Coilology pre-built wire on a spool, and this stuff is multi-strand fused Clapton, which is kind of interesting because I believe it's 2 strands. One is 28, one is 29, and then the outer wire is 38 and 36, which is kind of weird. I'm guessing they kind of alternate wire or something like that inside there. We will be investigating that a little bit later on in this video, but until then, let's just go ahead and get started here. Let's move all of our stuff out of the way. I've got everything prepped for you guys, so the hassle shall be minimized here. So I think we're going to take about a foot of wire. That should be plenty. We've got our 3mm bit, of course, as always. And we're just going to do a simple, I think we're going to do 7 wraps today. I think that should be pretty appropriate for this thing here. 7 wraps. Okay, so that should be good for 1 coil. And yes, you heard me correctly. I will be getting a new spinner rig in, so I'm very excited for that. I've been dying to get a bearing swivel for the longest time. I can't tell you how long it's been. And a good friend of mine has gifted me one. So Jimmy, big shout out to you. I don't know if you're even going to watch this video, but I really do appreciate all the support, man. But yeah, so new spinner rig coming in for next week's Fresh Build Friday video, which I have something on the back burner that I've been planning for a while that I've been dying to do. So hopefully we'll make that come true. So there we go. I know you guys hate me doing this pre-built wire stuff, but you know what? This stuff is actually pretty freaking kick-ass. I mean, I'm not usually impressed by pre-built wire, but honestly, this stuff is amazing. I'm really, really blown away by it. And for a quick little coil build like this, when you kind of run out of ideas or you just want to throw something in to try out a new device or whatever, then yeah, this is definitely good in a pinch. So looks like we got pretty much the appropriate amount of wire there, only about a couple inches left for spare. And let's just straighten everything out real quick before we even start the install portion here. So this build deck is really crazy. So just take a look at this real quick. This is what we're working with here. It's got these top clamps and the bottom holes. So you can either go with something like a Goon style build and kind of dangle the coils down a little bit, or you could go with something that kind of has the post hole set up like the Recoil. You can build it kind of sort of like the Recoil there if you wanted to, or you could combine any number of both. So it just seems really, really interesting. I'm just going to leave a little extra slack on the top leads here so we can bend that coil down a little bit, because feel like that's how they want you to build it. Kind of just dangling the coils down, almost Goon LP style, if that makes any sense. If anyone out there owns a Goon LP, you probably know what I'm talking about. You have to kind of bend the coils down and around a little bit in order for that thing to work. So let's see, we're gonna have to, ooh, careful. Gonna have to nudge some stuff around real quick in order for this to work. I might have to loosen these screws. Actually, the good thing about these screws here are that they're super long because they have to go all the way down, and one screw controls the entire thing all the way down to the bottom. So if you loosen up the screw at the top, let's say you have a combination build where you built it half Goon and half post hole style here. If you loosen up the top, then it's going to loosen up the bottom as well. So kind of funky. I don't know. Kind of wish they did some maybe grub screws on the side or something like that. I don't know how they could get that to work, but probably would work out a little bit better than how it is right now. All right, so we got everything pretty much in position here. Gonna just kind of lift up on all these leads so you can get a little bit of tension going on. And I just want to position it where I feel like it's gonna work here. Kind of go like that. Just leave a little bit of slack on one side. Okay. So there we go. Let's start tightening these things down. So I'm going to tighten down this one side first. The reason I'm doing this is so you can put your bit back through, grab your pliers, start taking out some of that slack. You're going to have quite a bit of slack in this wire here, so you just want to take a little bit of that out while still maintaining that, you know, position of the coil. So you just kind of want to leave it where you want it positioned and then just manipulate it from there. So insert your jig, pull on the wire. Oop, no, wrong side, duh. Pull on the wire, bend it like that, and then just kind of position it. You might end up pulling it back out ever so slightly, which is not a big deal. There we go, right there. That's where I want it. So then we can tighten everything down good and tight. Good and tight. Just like that. And that's pretty simple. Actually, it's a lot less complicated than I figured it was going to be. Thought it was going to be a whole process, going back and forth and, you know, twisting this way, that way. No, not so much. Just kind of one little bend there and just good to go. So, all right. Not looking too bad. Let's see. How should we go about clipping this stuff, though? It's always been an issue for me, just trying to go at this the most logical way possible. Whoa, watch your eyes. And the next one. Ooh, just barely nicked that one. This is the scary part because you don't want to mess up your wire. All right. Boom. I think that one hit the ceiling. And then ooh, be careful. Ooh, be careful. This one's tricky. There we go. Okay. Whew. All right. That wasn't too painful. All right. So just kind of putting the bit back through, stretching out that wire a little bit more. Just going to double check my screws again. All right. That looks pretty good. I also have a coil reader, a tab on the way too. Lots of exciting things happening over here at Daily Vape TV. So stay tuned, you guys. All right. Let's read these coils real quick. 0.2. 0.2 on the money. That's actually awesome. That is perfect. Yeah, that's awesome. So now we're just going to throw it back on the old hexome. And we'll turn down the power to about 30%. Right about there. And we'll start our pinch and pulse process. Try saying that 5 times fast. So just ever so slightly pinch those coils. Just get them a little bit warm and pinch them. You really don't want to go at this with the full wattage quite yet, of course. Little heat, little pinch. Little heat, little pinch. This wire is very, very workable, very malleable, which I can appreciate, and also it's kind of annoying at the same time because sometimes you want a little bit more kind of rigidity to your wire. You want it to stay in place. But this stuff here doesn't seem like you have to really work with it a lot before it fires up pretty good. I mean, we're almost there already. We've been at this for like maybe a minute, so not bad. Well, there we go. Starting to glow from the inside out already. This one still needs a little bit of work. We're getting there. We're getting there. It's a process. I'm actually going to turn up my power ever so slightly. So yeah, we are doing a Facebook and Instagram giveaway right now, so make sure you get in on that. The video is a couple videos back. It's the studio update vlog where, you know, I switch up my whole room. So I'm also doing a vape mat giveaway on my Facebook page and my Instagram account. So make sure if you have those social medias, get in on that giveaway because that's ending pretty soon. So with that being said, I will also try to be a little bit more active on all my other social medias, you know, in the future, because sometimes I might not get to a YouTube comment or something like that. But, you know, sometimes YouTube likes to either flag your comments as spam or just literally not tell me about them. So with that, I do apologize if I haven't gotten back to you on the comments, but I'll try to do my best to be responding to you guys in the future. And if you ever have a suggestion for a future episode of Fresh Build Friday, all of my social media inboxes are wide open for you guys there. So feel free to message me, tweet at me, tag me on Instagram, you know, anything like that. I would love to hear your comments and suggestions. So, and don't forget to comment below because that actually helps me out a great deal with the channel too. So don't forget about, you know, commenting down below, even if I don't get back to you for 6 to 8 weeks. But, you know, I do my best, you guys. I try. So yeah, we're pretty much there already. Let's just turn up the power to about 70%. I feel like that's where we're going to be using this thing at. Yeah, we're pretty much there. Yeah, that looks good to me. I think we'll let this thing cool off a little bit, and then we'll wick it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to see what this thing can do. So, yeah, let's go ahead and fire it up. Not bad. All right, that looks good to me. Let's go back to the main screen, have a quick vape on this thing, and then we'll talk about it some more. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the build. Now let's talk about the coils that we just put in our Vaporous RDA here. And the final resistance came out to 0.22 ohms, which is perfect, spot on, exactly where I wanted it to be, because this Hexohm V3 right here can handle 0.2 ohms at 100%. And that being said, I'm going to keep it around 75 just because I feel like the heat factor on this one is a little bit up there, which actually kind of brings us right into our first topic here, which is the heat. The fact that I have to keep it at 75% 100% means I feel like the airflow section here is just a little bit too small for its own good. I feel like the top cap on the Vaporous should have had a little bit more airflow, similar to like the Goon 1.5, you know, that they have that big wide slot on the sides of that thing. But this one here kind of limits what you can and can't build with this one, and I feel like they could have opened it up a little bit more, or even gave you like a top airflow option with this one, because that kind of would open up a lot more builds with this thing here. You could do, you know, stacked quad coils, you could do, you know, an angled coil, a vertical coil, something like that, and you just have so many more options available to you if they actually open up that cap a little bit more. However, the heat right now is very manageable. It's kind of, you know, average, I would say, warm to hot with the airflow section wide open, and it's not a bad thing whatsoever. I just have to kind of keep the power down ever so slightly, but it's kind of hitting that sweet spot right here. Our second category, which is the ramp up and ramp down time. The ramp up time is very, very minimal. It's about quarter to a half a second-ish, which is totally acceptable for me, and that's exactly where I usually like it to be, you know. That way you don't really have to purge through it or anything like that. You just, you know, hit that fire button and breathe deep and you get a big ass cloud. So with that, very, very good ramp up time. Let's go ahead and check out the ramp down. So I'm getting about a 3-second ramp down time, which is absolutely phenomenal for this kind of build here. I basically have a benchmark set at 3 seconds for the acceptability of the ramp down time. Anything shorter than 3 seconds is even better, and anything longer than 3 seconds tends to be a little bit worse. It tends to get the coil a little bit too hot, and it tends to dry out that wick a lot faster. So 3-second ramp down time, absolutely perfect. Let's move on. And for my third category, which is the difficulty of this build, obviously I use this pre-made wire, and that made it a whole heck of a lot easier. I will be trying out a multi-core fuse Clapton myself in the very near future, so, you know, stay tuned for that, obviously. But with that being said, for those of you that either have no interest in learning how to build or just want to try out some fancy wire from time to time and don't really feel like, you know, wrapping it yourself, this stuff is absolutely great for that. I mean, this is the perfect for someone like me that just wants to test out an RDA or an RTA or any rebuildable device, and I really don't want to put forth, you know, all the effort of making a whole new set of coils for it and, you know, spinning up wire and all that stuff. So for me, yeah, this stuff is excellent just to be able to try out new devices. But for you guys out there, if you want to try it out for yourself, make sure you check out the links in the description. And for my final and most important category, the flavor on this build, today I'm vaping on some of this NOLA by Lane Cove Vapor. Thank you so much, Ruby Roo, for sending this my way, because it is absolutely delicious. The flavor is a Pavlova meringue topped with whipped cream, strawberries, kiwi, and passion fruit. Very, very flavorful, very tasty, very ripe, fresh, and delicious. It's kind of that perfect all-around vape. Even like non-fruity flavor lovers could definitely get into this stuff here. And yeah, this build is doing it justice. You get all of those notes. You get the top notes of the ripe, fresh strawberries and kiwi. Then it kind of goes into that middle note of a passion fruit. And then the lower notes of the cream and the meringue just kind of top it all off, which is absolutely phenomenal. So yeah, very, very well crafted e-liquid, and the build is absolutely doing it justice. So that about does it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more videos just like this. Don't forget to click that notification bell right next to the subscribe button if you want to be alerted whenever I upload videos. Also, leave me some comments in the box below about anything you guys want to discuss down there. The Vaporous RDA, some coilology wire, the Lane Cove Vapor flavor NOLA, or anything else in between. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Also, if you have a suggestion for a future episode of Fresh Build Friday, make sure you drop it on down there. Also, check out the links I have in the description. I've got the advocacy and my social media links right down there for you guys. You can also get yourself a Daily Vape TV t-shirt. So thank you guys so much for tuning in, and as always, vape on!
Poopy.